"I'm sorry, Dad, but I don't want you at my graduation." That's what my daughter said, word for word. No hesitation, no trace of guilt. Just those 9 syllables, spoken so cleanly they sliced through 17 years of memories, like a butcher's knife through silk. I blinked. My hand froze on the wrench I was using to tighten a pipe beneath the kitchen sink. For a second, I thought I'd misheard her. But when I looked up, she wasn't even looking at me. She was texting, smiling. I asked, "Did your mom put you up to this?" "No," she said, almost laughing. "I just think it'd be weird. I mean, Jason will be there. Everyone from Mom's side. You and your old truck and vibe. It's not the look I'm going for." The look. I didn't know whether to laugh or vomit. Jason was my ex, wife's boyfriend. A man who'd come into her life 5 years after she left mine. A tech consultant with a fake tan and a golf swing he never shut up about. She always said he understood success. Maybe that's why she let him take over our house, our weekends, and now my daughter's milestone. I stared at the floor, my knuckles white around the wrench. I'd been a plumber my whole life. Fixed people's leaks, their busted heaters, their frozen pipes at 3 a.m. when no one else would pick up the phone. But nothing ever prepared me for hearing my only child tell me I didn't belong at the moment I was supposed to be proudest. She walked away without waiting for an answer. That night, I sat in the dark with an unopened graduation invitation on the table. It was addressed to the Carter family. I guess I wasn't part of that anymore. But what happened next, no one saw coming. People think betrayal feels like a gunshot, sudden, loud, final. But it's not. Betrayal is quiet. It happens in moments so small, you almost miss them until they built a chasm so wide you can't see the other side anymore. My name is Thomas Carter. I'm 53 years old. I've been a plumber since I was 19. I've fixed over 3,000 sinks, toilets, and water heaters. I've replaced copper lines in mansions I'll never afford, and patched leaks in apartments that reeked of mold and despair. I never cared about status, only about doing things right. I was married to Monica for 12 years. She used to say I had working man hands and Sunday morning eyes. I thought that was romantic once, until she stopped saying it. Until she stopped looking at me altogether. The marriage didn't implode. It faded, like wallpaper left too long in the sun. By the time she met Jason Sleek Stylish, a systems optimization consultant, we were more roommates than partners. I didn't fight the divorce. I just asked for one thing: time with Emma. Emma was our daughter. She was 10 when Monica left. She cried for days, said she wanted to stay with me. And she did. Every weekend, every Wednesday night, every Christmas morning for the first 3 years. I taught her how to change a tire, how to read a utility bill. I packed her lunches, sat through her awkward choir concerts, cheered like a lunatic at her soccer games, even when she missed every goal. But then Jason started showing up, with his boat shoes and perfect teeth and promises of weekend trips and networking exposure. Emma liked the fancy brunches, the spa days, the new clothes. I couldn't compete with that. I didn't have a yacht. I had a tool belt. When she turned 16, things shifted. She stopped coming on weekends, said she had SAT prep or college tours. But I knew. I saw the Instagram photos. Her and Jason in Aspen. Her and Jason at some leadership summit in DC. Always smiling, always hashtagging. I still showed up, still transferred money every month for her school fees, still paid the car insurance on the Prius Monica gifted her from the family. I was the silent line item in the background, the one they never thanked, never mentioned, but always used. The moment that broke me came 1 week before her graduation. She called not to talk, but to inform. "We're doing a big dinner after the ceremony," she said. "Just close family. I mean, Mom and Jason and his parents, maybe a few of my friends. It's kinda small." He didn't respond. She added, "But if you want to, like send flowers or something, that'd be cool." That was it. No invitation, no seat saved, no photo together in cap and gown. Just send flowers. I hung up and stared at the photo on my desk. Emma at 9 years old, grinning in front of a volcano science project we built out of baking soda and vinegar. She'd called it Mount Carter. That girl, she was gone. That Friday, I got a call from her high school. "Mr. Carter, we wanted to confirm the attendance for our donor acknowledgments." You'll be seated in the second row behind faculty." I paused. "Donor?" "Yes, sir. The Carter Resilience Fund. You've been our largest anonymous contributor for 3 years now. The principal wants to personally thank you." My throat tightened. I'd set up the fund when Emma entered high school, quietly, under a shell name. Every job I took after hours, every emergency call at midnight, every dollar I didn't spend on myself, it all went into that fund. Not just for Emma, but for other kids like her. Kids with potential, but no trust fund. Emma didn't know. Monica didn't care to ask. I told the school I wouldn't be attending, because sometimes, when the world doesn't want to see you, you let them open their eyes the hard way. After that call with the school, I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't even pour myself a drink. I just sat at my kitchen table, stared at the cracked tile I'd been meaning to fix, and let the silence settle over me like dust on a forgotten shelf. You don't survive 3 decades in the trades without learning how to keep your mouth shut and your eyes open. So I did exactly that. I didn't tell Emma I knew. I didn't call Monica. I didn't show up at her school and make a scene. That's not who I am. Instead, I went to my garage. Inside, beneath an old army blanket, sat a file cabinet, locked, unassuming. Inside that cabinet were 12 manila folders, each labeled with a year, 2010 to 2022. They held every tuition payment, every textbook receipt, every after-school program, every medical copay I'd quietly handled behind the scenes. Emma never asked for help. Monica never offered. But I kept track. In the last 4 years alone, I'd covered over $42,000 worth of educational costs, often through the Carter Resilience Fund, never under my name. I pulled out a folder, flipped through the neatly clipped papers, and took a breath. There was power in proof, even if I never used it. Later that night, I logged into the fund's online portal. There it was confirmed. Emma's entire college tuition, already approved and paid in full, under the anonymous donor designation. It would be announced publicly at the graduation ceremony, just before the valedictorian speech. She'd be standing center stage, smiling, ready to thank Jason and Monica. And then they'd read the name of the scholarship. My name. No confrontation, no screaming match, just facts, delivered with precision. But I didn't stop there. Over the next few days, I gathered quiet details. I had a friend, Lenny, who worked part-time at the school's AV department. Back in the day, I'd helped his mom with a complete bathroom remodel for half price. He owed me. "Can you get me a recording of the graduation ceremony?" I asked. "Dude," he said, "I run the live stream. I'll send you the raw feed and the official edit." "Thanks. One more thing. When the scholarship names are called, can you zoom in on Emma's face?" Lenny paused, then said, "Damn, yeah, consider it done." He didn't say why. He didn't ask. In the days leading up to graduation, Monica texted me once. "Monica, Jason thinks it's best you don't come. He's been helping Emma prep for her speech and we don't want any tension. Please respect that." I stared at the message. I thought about responding. Instead, I deleted the thread. Then I went to my closet, took out the only suit I owned, the one I wore to my father's funeral, and laid it across my bed. I wasn't going to graduation, but I was going to watch it. And when the moment came, I wasn't going to miss a second. Graduation morning came with sunlight and silence. I didn't leave the house, just brewed a pot of black coffee, set my laptop on the table, and pulled up the live stream. The ceremony opened with flags and an off-key rendition of the national anthem. I watched it all stone still, hands folded, heart beating somewhere behind the tightness in my throat. And then, there she was. Emma, my daughter, walked across the stage in a deep blue robe, gold honors sash draped across her shoulders. Her curls were pinned back. She looked older, more polished, like someone I used to know. Jason and Monica sat in the front row, beaming, clapping with just enough exaggeration to be seen. Jason had one arm draped behind Monica's chair, the other on his lap like he owned the occasion. Emma took her seat among the graduates. Then the principal stepped up to the podium. "And now," he said, "before we hear from our valedictorian, we'd like to take a moment to recognize the recipient of our most prestigious private scholarship, the Carter Resilience Fund, a 4-year, full tuition award, gifted by an anonymous donor whose belief in second chances has changed the lives of students in this district for over a decade. I leaned forward. Emma looked confused. The camera, thank you. Lenny zoomed in just as her brow furrowed. The principal continued. This year's recipient is none other than our very own valedictorian, Emma Carter. Applause. Then came the twist. But today, he added, that donor has chosen to step out of the shadows. Please join me in thanking the founder of the Carter Resilience Fund, Mr. Thomas Carter. For a moment, even the air seemed to stop. The camera panned wildly. People turned. Jason's applause froze mid-clap. Monica's smile shattered like dropped glass. And Emma? She stared into the crowd, searching for a face that wasn't there. I wasn't in the room, but my name was, and it landed like a quiet bomb. The feed flickered to a wide shot. Emma stood, confused, unsure whether to wave or sit or run. And the audience? They clapped harder. Because in that moment, I wasn't the plumber. I was the man behind the future they were all celebrating. Emma's speech followed. Her voice trembled. She thanked the school, her friends, and of course Jason. She stumbled when she said his name, lost her rhythm. Her eyes kept darting toward the rows of chairs, looking for someone she didn't think she'd miss. But I wasn't there. I watched it all in real time. Every flinch, every flicker of realization. When the speech ended, Lenny texted me one sentence. She knows. Later that night, I got another message from a number I hadn't seen in months. Emma, was it you? He didn't reply. Because some truths don't need confirmation. They just need time to echo. The first domino didn't fall at the graduation. It fell 2 days later at brunch. Emma posted a photo. Her in a white summer dress, seated between Monica and Jason at a restaurant that charged $18 for toast. The caption read, "Family brunch with the best supporters in the world." Away, but the comments, that's where the collapse began. Wasn't it your dad who funded your scholarship? Why didn't you thank him in your speech? The Carter Resilience Fund. Carter? Coincidence? And then someone posted the clip. The principal announcing my name. The camera zoom on Emma's stunned face. Jason's hand dropping from Monica's shoulder like it had been burned. In less than 12 hours, the video hit 20,000 views on TikTok. It was reposted by a local education blogger with the title, "Plumber Dad Pays Daughters Entire College Tuition. She thanks her stepfather instead." Comments flooded in. Some defended her. Most didn't. Monica's co-workers started whispering. Jason's clients started backing out. One even emailed him directly. "If that's how you treat legacy, I'm not trusting you with mine." But the real public fall came when Emma uploaded a follow-up post, an attempt at damage control. Emma, I'm grateful to everyone who helped me along the way, especially the people who believed in me when I didn't deserve it. No photo, no tags, just words. But people weren't buying it. Then came the message I didn't expect. "Jason, hey man, I didn't know you were still helping out. Monica didn't mention it. Neither did Emma. For what it's worth, I respect the hell out of you." I left it unread, because here's the thing about public falls. They don't require you to push. You just have to step aside and let gravity do what it does. By the end of the week, Jason had deactivated his LinkedIn. Monica's family lifestyle blog quietly disappeared. And Emma? Emma stopped posting altogether. A silence I didn't ask for, but welcome. It's been a year. The Carter Resilience Fund now sponsors 8 students, 4 of them first-generation college attendees. I don't attend the board meetings. I let the foundation director handle that. I just sign the checks and review the letters. Handwritten ones, honest ones, from kids who know what gratitude looks like. Emma hasn't called, not since that night, but I've seen her name on academic lists, on a student blog post where she wrote an essay titled, "The Value of What You Don't See." She didn't mention me. She didn't need to. I moved out of the old house 6 months ago, bought a small place near the lake. Quiet neighborhood, big trees, no reminders. Every morning, I brew my coffee, sit on the porch, and fix things that don't need fixing. An old chair, a stubborn gate hinge, a birdhouse a squirrel keeps tearing down. Some habits never die, but I'm not working out of desperation anymore. I'm working because it keeps me grounded. People in town talk. Some say I'm a saint. Others say I'm a fool. Maybe I'm both. What I know is this: Love doesn't come with guarantees. You raise a child, you pour everything into them, and sometimes they still turn away. Not out of cruelty, but confusion, because the world taught them flash meant value, and it took a quiet collapse for them to learn the difference. Last week, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a graduation photo Emma, standing alone in front of her campus, holding her diploma. On the back, 5 words. I know now. Thank you. No signature. Didn't need one. I placed it in the drawer beside the others. Then I closed it. Not because I'm finished, but because I'm free. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm just done waiting to be seen by people who refused to look. And in this quiet place I built with my own hands, surrounded by nothing fancy and everything honest, I finally feel like the father I always hoped to be. Sometimes, the most powerful form of love is silent, invisible, and unwavering. This story reminds us that being present doesn't always mean being praised, and that the people who love us most often do so quietly, without fanfare or applause. In a world obsessed with image and status, it's easy to overlook the quiet strength of those who sacrifice without expectation. But truth has a way of surfacing, and when it does, it reveals the difference between those who perform love and those who live it. This story is not just about a daughter realizing who truly stood by her. It's about all of us remembering to look deeper, to recognize the quiet contributors, to value integrity over appearances. In life, it's not who gets the loudest applause that matters. It's who stayed when the room was empty. Don't wait until someone is gone to appreciate their presence. Some thank yous come too late, but the lessons they leave behind can last a lifetime. What would you have done if your own child erased you from one of the proudest moments of their life? If you had poured your heart, your time, your money into raising them, and in return, you were pushed aside for someone who simply showed up late with a smile? Do you think he did the right thing by staying silent? By letting the truth speak louder than any confrontation? Or should he have shown up, stood his ground, and demanded recognition? Tell us what you would have done. Leave a comment below, not just for us, but for him. Because sometimes, the people who give the most receive the least. And maybe, just maybe, he needs to hear that he was enough. Share your thoughts, your stories, your lessons. And if this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful stories, and help us bring attention to the silent heroes among us. He didn't ask for applause, but he deserves to be heard.